Man. She got fired. Now, like with anybody that gets fired in, like, Trump's cabinet, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gone from his regime. It means that they get shuffled around like a Catholic priest gets sent to Chile. They're not outside of the parish, but they are most certainly moved around to a place where you might not have to think about them as much. But, yeah. Trump fired Kristi Noem, insofar as he fires anybody. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened there. So, Trump today indicated that he wants to see Iran's leadership structure fully removed. And they asked the names for... Wait, hold on. That's a different thing entirely. Wait. Updated 47 minutes ago, live updates on Trump replacing Kristi Noem. Could you not have... NBC, why are you like this? Why the fuck are you like this? This is... I wanted a specific news article, and instead I got something that, like, live updated through all kinds of shit? Not what I want. I don't want Wall Street Journal. Okay, there we go. We'll have to go to CNN, I guess. So President Donald Trump said on Thursday on social media that he was firing Kristi Noem, the former Homeland Security person, and would name Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to replace her. Trump thanked Noem for her service, saying in his Truth Social post that she had had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, and that she will be moving to the Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americans, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. He said Mullin would take over the position on March 31st. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the Trump admin will work to confirm Mullin as quickly as possible. Trump loves watching Mullin on TV, aides said, which played a role in the president's decision to tap him for the position. Trump has called Mullin following combative interviews to praise him, and White House staffers have often dispatched the senator to do cable news hits around big moments for the administration. Justice says Noem is now Nick Fury. Noem learned of her firing as she was arriving at an event in Nashville, Tennessee. 3 sources familiar with the matter told CNN. 2 of the sources said Trump called Noem directly to inform her of the decision. She thanked the president in a social media post shortly after the announcement. Of course she's going to do that. They're going to save face. Now, why did this happen? Well, let's take a look here. So President Donald Trump had to tell Reuters that he did not sign off on a $220 million border security advertising campaign that was mostly featuring Kristi Noem. Yeah, that's the actual issue. The actual story here, more than anything, seems to be that Kristi Noem wanted to increase her media representation of herself. She wanted to increase that repertoire, and in so doing, has pissed off the Don. So it was about his ego. Justin says she literally forgot to name him. Yep. Shortly after his comments to Reuters, Trump said in a Truth Social thing that Noem would be replaced with Markwayne Mullin. Noem, a top official overseeing Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown, faced scrutiny about the campaign while testifying before congressional panels on Tuesday and Wednesday. Lawmakers from both parties asked about the contract and processes to select the companies for the campaign. The ads prominently featured Kristi Noem, including a scene of her on horseback at Mount Rushmore in the former South Dakota governor's home state. In one of the exchanges over the contracts, U.S. Senator John Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, asked Noem if Trump had approved the commercials, saying the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently? Kennedy asked Noem, and she said, yes, sir, we went through the legal processes, did it correctly. That's not the same thing. You and I can both see how that's not the same thing, right? Like, that's different. During testimony before the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives panel, Noem faced criticism from Democrats and some Republicans, including her remarks in January calling the acts of 2 U.S. citizens shot dead by federal immigration officers as domestic terrorism. So that would be when Renee Good and Alex Preddy were killed. So she's just bad for media business, is what that is. It's Trump's ego, and she is bad for media business, and so she wants to see him... She wants to increase her own profile. And Donald Trump does not like that, because he likes when his profile is there, and because everything that happens in his administration is something that is a reflection on him, she's basically making a fool of his administration by being a bad representative of it. And in so doing, she's put a target on her back. So, back when I worked at Walmart, we had a concept called being promoted to customer. You never got fired at Walmart. You got promoted to customer because the customer's always your boss. This is Kristi being promoted to customer. You're not getting fired. No, you're getting moved across the country to a super special, possibly recently named thing. Go do that instead. Hellbound Hillbilly says so she got fired over her costume budget. Yeah, that's another thing. $220 million. How much of that money do you think was actually spent shooting the damn thing? Not the dog. That she already shot that. Jessa says she was also confirmed by Dems, Fetterman, Hassan, Kane, Kim, Peters, Shaheen, and Slotkin. Hellbound Hillbilly says, or was it for trying to distribute the pictures? I don't know. The contract was awarded by two companies linked to longtime Republican operatives. Records show. Details report last year by the Associated Press and ProPublica. I'm less interested in the specifics of who is running the campaign because I don't have a lot of information on them offhand. I am more interested in the internal squabble that has happened with Trump and Noem. Jassa says, I use them lightly. They're just cinema and mansion. Yeah. Man. Oh, wow. There's actually some other information in the CNN article. So CNN had previously reported that some top White House officials have long been frustrated with Corey Lewandowski, which was Noem's top aide and the subject of some pointed questioning during this week's congressional hearings. Trump dispatched White House border czar Tom Homan to Minneapolis. You remember when, like, Tom Homan had to be sent out to, like, be the dad that wrangled everything in? That's when you know that she's making a fucking fool of herself. The Alex Preddy and Renee Good situations did not reflect well on ICE at all. Like, that basically solidified for a lot of people what ICE is. When we say the word Gestapo to talk about ICE, we're not really that far off from what they're actually doing. I made a video on the main channel talking about an illiberal democracy, and this is great examples of that. Anything else going on in here right now? GOP allies outside the admin have also grown weary of Kristi Noem, and support among GOP senators has weakened. That was evident by the questions posed by Republicans during the Senate Judiciary Committee this week. They said quality matters, not quantity, quality, and what we've seen is a disaster under your leadership. Republican Senator John F. Kennedy confronted Noem about her agency's advertising campaign, which, as Kennedy pointed out, often prominently showcased Kristi Noem. Again, it's the fucking ego. That's what it is. The ego of these people. He said, it troubles me. $250 to $250 million in taxpayer money when we're scratching for every penny and we're fighting over recession packages. I just can't agree with Madam Secretary, Kennedy said, later asking whether the president approved the campaign, which featured her prominently. She said, did you know that did the president know you were going to do this? And she says, yes. Kennedy goes, he did? She goes, uh-huh. Yes. It doesn't appear to be the case. It doesn't appear to be what actually happened. Bam. Like, we know that Kristi Noem's a liar, but it's funny that she's even lying to the Don in this case. She's lying to Trump, and she's lying to everybody else just to save her own ass. But that's why she gets shuffled. That's why she gets shuffled to a new location. Isn't it fun?
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.